We're talking with Dave, Simon, and Dan from Say Yes, Do Nothing. Go check them out, sayyesdonothing.com. They're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The new single drops Friday, Hum of the Hidden Machine. I read a thing, Dave, where you said that the audiences ate it up when you put a cowboy hat on. You guys just mentioned that everyone's from everywhere in London. Is it the West? Is it America? What is it?
You know, I got to apologize to your listeners in Wyoming because I knew what I was doing and I was embarrassed. Because I lived in Utah and my best friend was a Mormon cowpoke.
Nice.
Big, like 6'5" guy, you know. So I knew the sin I was committing. But I did it as a joke for one song and people ate it up. I mean, Simon, you were saying about how you play the bass. What happens when you do that country beat?
Yeah, so yeah. If you play the sort of do sort of country beat, suddenly everybody starts dancing. You can drop it into any song, and you can watch an audience suddenly start moving. I think that's strange. Will that happen if I do that again? And it did. And Dave had exactly the same effect with his hat. All of a sudden, we're a different thing because the hat.
Yeah, so authentic. Yeah.
You never know what's going to get
American,
you over.
He's got the hat.
That's all it took. That's for sure. Well, in the Buffalo Springfield cover for Black Lives Matter, for what it's worth, whose idea was that?
That was mine, and you know, it was hard to watch from here what was happening in America, and being an American and knowing, you know, the tensions that are there amongst us, and seeing it flaring up like that, and also seeing just how the tensions were flaring during the protests. And I thought that song really spoke to that. Of, you know, we have our differences, but try to take a breath and take a step back and see what's happening before it gets worse. And so that's why I wanted to record that, you know, in solidarity with the movement, but also speaking to that peaceful voice of trying to work through it, find a good solution for everybody.
Yeah, and you guys were the first ones, and then there was like 2 or 3 other bands that did it.
Yeah, right?
They copied us.
I was like, what the shit? They heard you guys, and
it's a good song.
It is a very good song. Did that?
You know how I know that song? Do you remember the Muppet Show?
Yeah.
Totally undermines my intent for Black Lives Matter, but there was a Muppet Show scene where they sang that song, and all the little bunnies and stuff were in the forest, and one of the bunnies is singing the song, and then the hunter comes in and shoots his gun, and they all stop. And I say, what's that sound? And then the bunnies kind of come back out of the bushes. And it always reminded me of that when I was 7 years old watching that. But no, much more serious intent.
Well, did that get you guys over more, the cover song? It had to help.
It was amazing, actually, because I think it connected us with a lot more people. It opened my eyes that when you kind of tap into something that's current and important to people and you contribute to it, you really become part of a community. So, yeah, it really did connect us with a lot more people.
Because how have you guys been able to do it? Because you're an indie band. I mean, you're talking to me in Wyoming. How have you been able to create a buzz? How have you been able to get your name out there?
Well, just every day, keeping at it. I mean, I think probably you do the same thing for Cowboy Joe Radio, is just keeping at it, keep connecting, keep trying to produce material and share it, enjoying it. I mean, there's so many elements to it that, as you would know, there's the graphic element of posters and flyers. There's the website, the Twitter posts. I think there's as much graphic arts to it as there is to the music, because people see something before they click on it. And I really enjoy that. So quite a lot of our imagery is take off on Banksy, or like we'll do fake album covers. Like I did a Dave Brubeck fake album cover, which was us as a live poster, just stuff like that. Or like the Obama poster, you know, we did a fake Obama poster with a picture of me and it says nope instead of hope. So just stuff like that.
We're talking with Dave, Dan, and Simon from Say Yes, Do Nothing. Go check them out, sayyesdonothing.com. They're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The new single comes out on Friday. Your last single, Grace of God. First, the song, the intro to the song. Who is that saying that? Is that one of you guys? Whose idea is that? Was that like an inside joke? What?
So we call ourselves London Yank Rock. obviously, because I'm a Yank in London with the stupid cowboy hat. So I worked with a guy who just had this amazing voice. And I said, would you record this for me? And I think he was a little put off because I came up to him and said, you have an amazing voice. And he kind of looked at me like, where's this going? But so I asked him to record that in a conference room. And that's where that came from.
Who did the video? Because the video just came out a couple weeks ago.
I edited that together with good old Microsoft Video Editor on my laptop. It's taken from a Soviet propaganda film from probably 1950 that I spliced together to fit the music. I just love the animation. I love the way it looked.
Dan and Simon, is there any part where Dave says something, he does something, and you look at each other and go, that's the Yank coming out of him? Any American mannerisms? What do you have?
I don't think there's any of that we actually object to. I think there's probably something about the fact that he's American gives him that drive. I think it's the fact that he doesn't give up and he looks at every possible avenue. That might be something of an American trait rather than a British trait, I think, if you see what I mean. I hope I'm not going too far in stating that. Dan, what do you think?
I mean, I think we all, the three of us, speak a universal language, which without sounding cheesy is music. And I think regardless of whether we're American or British or French or whatever, we kind of all have that same background of listening to American music and British music, and whenever we do stuff together, that kind of comes to the forefront rather than any kind of cultural differences.
So who plays harmonica in the band?
On the song you heard, I play that, but actually Simon plays much better than me.
But strangely enough, it's Dave on the record, yeah.
Because you guys say it's guitar-driven, so is it Dave doing the music? Is it Dave and Dan? How's the music being written?
It starts with a Dave song, and Dave has a rough idea about what he wants, and then when we've all tried that, then it just gets beaten into shape in a room, basically. So what comes out is really a combination of what everybody's put into it, but it starts with Dave's song, and at the heart of it is still Dave's song. I hope at the end of it, the song sits on top of whatever else we've done to it, and I think people can definitely hear that. I hope that's a strong quality of it.
What tends to happen is Dave brings a song, and he says, could you make this sound a bit more like The Who? Or could you make it sound a bit more like the Kinks, but Leonard Cohen at the same time? And I go, sure, how about this? And then I do the wrong thing, and then he shouts at me. And no, he doesn't. And we just kind of riff off each other, It kind of ends up sounding however it sounds.
The thing is, I just love the way they play. I kind of know that they won't screw it up.
The way it works for me is to steal a bass line from a completely different song and then put it into the song and then hope no one else never notices because it's completely out of context. So far, no one's rumbled anything I've put in there. But because bass lines aren't copyright, I think we're going to get away with it.
So what's going on in London with concerts? I mean, you guys shot the little promo video for the new track, and it looks like you're set up somewhere. Is that in a club? Is that at your house? Or can we play shows yet? What's happening?
That's old. Yeah, no, it's a tough scene right now because you can't have more than 20 people, I think, at a gig. Is that right, Simon?
Ooh.
It is, yeah. So because of that, it doesn't mean the promoters couldn't put the gigs on, but it means that the gigs won't pay, so it's not worth opening the doors.
No.
With the best will in the world, they'd be losing money to open the doors. But all the promoters have said, can we get this many people? And it's hard to know if you can get people out. So the whole thing has just stalled. Everything's cancelled basically for the foreseeable. We've just carried on in every way we possibly can, apart from the fact that we can't actually play anywhere.
The new single is coming out Friday, Hum of the Hidden Machine. What's the gist of the song? It's a little more somber of a song?
It's a tough subject. My respect for your listeners who might not agree with its subject matter, but it's my personal story about what it's like to get an abortion and the choice to do that. And from the boyfriend's perspective, watching the woman, going into the clinic, disappearing into the back room, and then coming back out with just nothing in her eyes because of what she's been through. And the song's also the story of how that was the end of the relationship, how that also was we both knew that was the end of us as well. And so the song tells that story as honestly as it can, but hopefully with some insightful lyrics.
Yeah, I mean, emotion. I love music with emotion. Maybe that's why I've gravitated towards you guys. Is it your life, Dave? Is it experiences? Is it just what touches you? Where's it coming from?
Yeah, I mean, I love songs that tell stories or connect. Almost a kind of gonzo journalism kind of songwriting style. A song that will hopefully have a backbeat and make you feel something rocking, but also kind of tell a story and give you some insight into an experience maybe you weren't there or hadn't been there, but it might also remind you of someone you know. I mean, even NWA, right? I mean, very few of their songs were they actually themselves gangsters, but they were telling what they saw around them, and that really connected with people. So I really love people who can do that, who can give you insight into something that maybe you don't get to experience yourself.
When I like your guys' music, because I think every time you hear it, you might hear something more. It grows on you. It opens a little more. It lasts. That's good. That's a good thing to have. So here we go.
I've been following you for a long time, man.
Oh, well, thanks.
I've been listening to your show for a long time, Cowboy Joe. I mean, for like a year, I've been listening to Cowboy Joe Radio.
Well, we appreciate it, and I'll give you thanks that we're actually like on your Facebook page. We're mentioned. So hey.
Yeah, you are all over the place.
Well, on the timeline and in your bio, it even says that we play it. So
you were one of the first people to play us. I really appreciate that.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys. Keep rocking. Go and follow them. Support them. Say Yes, Do Nothing. Go to sayyesdonothing.com. Follow them on Facebook. Like them everywhere. They're on Twitter, Instagram. The new single, Hum of the Hidden Machine, comes out on Friday. And you're going to hear it right now. Thanks so much, guys, for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jeff. It's been
Thank you for having us, Jeff. Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, stay safe. It's The Takeover. Cowboy Joe Radio.
Something I'll never forget, no matter how many years. My girl waiting in a line to get sucked through the clinic gears. They don't give you any big cigars, they've got people magazines. So you don't have to listen to the hum of the hidden machine, making it die, making it die. And as I took her hand away, I could see she was trying to be brave. She even tried to smile, she even tried to